Hey folks, how are you doing? We're gonna get loose here in just a minute. Are you?
Dun, dun, dun. Hey geeks, welcome to tonight's edition of Geek Culture Live. We decided to record tonight because we know all of you, or a majority of you, are watching the final season of Games of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, and it's exciting. I'm a huge fan, but you know I'm recording it. I like to see it without my family because again it has those risque scenes in there. But I don't know. I'm anxious for the season, and again there's already a poll going, and who's actually gonna live through this season to actually sit on the damn throne. I'm hoping Snow, but people are guessing otherwise.
Who's the favorite?
Well, right now people are saying either Daenerys, people are saying Snow, and people are saying actually his younger brother.
Not the king, not the Ice King or the Night King.
No. And everyone expected the Night King to freaking get killed by Jon Snow. But what's that?
Why would Snow kill the?
Well, no, but that's the final battle.
Okay.
And I just think that but is that when you see this Night King and when you see the army of the dead, it's just I just have a funny feeling that there's going to be this battle to where Daenerys and Jon Snow die, and I just think that maybe I'm thinking that one of the sisters is going to take it.
Speculation.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Me and David were talking about it because of what's going on with Star Wars. People are speculating who the families are. We'll get back to Game of Thrones in a minute, but like I was telling David, none of the online chat forums have ever been right about any of the Star Wars or anything else. So
it's just good chatter. It's good chatter, the first few seasons followed closely to the book, but then it started going it started going awry. And people are starting getting killed off, and so you don't know who's getting killed off anymore because, again, this is the final season.
Well, what's interesting is you were talking about who's going to sit on the throne, and today I saw a solicitation by Hot Topic of Jon Snow on the Iron Throne, Daenerys on the Iron Throne, and the Night King on an Iron Throne. So that's how I know about that. For those of you who are watching that may not know, no, I have never seen a season of Game of Thrones. No, I'm not going to catch up to it. I do admire those people that can sit down in a whole month and watch all the seasons.
You know what? My friend was doing it. I just went to a training up in Kyle, Texas, and my friend, there were times that we were studying, but then when we finished studying, he was on his iPad and he was actually trying to catch up because he wanted, he was ready for this season. I bet you he's watching it right now. Well,
there's a lot of people. Yeah. I saw a lot of people posting that, I just finished the 7th season. I'm ready for it to start tonight. And I'm just like,
you got to get back into it. You're like, you don't want to miss, because when this story kicks off, you just want it to flow.
Be in the know.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like
me. It's like me. I have a good memory, and I remember what happened on the last episode of the previous season. So I didn't need to watch.
No, but these people are actually finally getting into the show, not
okay. They're finally getting into it. Okay.
Well, and I wanted to kind of address that. You recently got into it. Was it last year?
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 years ago, you were introduced to it, and then you sat down and you binged it. But you binged. That's 2 years, man. You had 2 years to catch into.
Yeah, it took me a while. And again, it was I say 2 years, but it was actually. It was actually like in we're in 2019. It was actually in 2017, the end of 2017. That's when that live the
music,
the music concert,
music of Games of
and if I remember right, it came out. I forgot when it came. It came out the end of 2017, and I just said, you know what, let's just watch it, and I caught up to it, and I became a fan, and finally the final season's coming out this. So
and there's several shows out there that I would love to sit down and watch, but I'm not going to binge watch it in a month. And that would be Breaking Bad. Never saw that show. I knew it was.
I never saw that show.
We should watch it together, dude.
I don't know, but I just never. I don't know what was so good about it.
It looked good.
Dexter was another one.
That one doesn't interest me.
I don't know.
What was it? It was Breaking Bad. It was Vikings.
Hey, Vikings is good.
I haven't watched it.
I've seen several series of it, but I just never had the time to get back to it. And then not only that, I hate commercials. If Vikings was on HBO or something like that, to where there's no commercials or Netflix, I would so watch it. But It's on what, History Channel or I forget what
I thought it was cable.
well it is. No, it's History Channel.
Is it?
Yeah, it's History Channel.
I don't know. I don't watch it, but I
Yeah.
know it's a good show. I know Vikings is, and Breaking Bad was a good show, and Game of Thrones is a good show. There's a couple other ones out there, but those are the ones that I actually have an interest in. But speaking of Netflix, Disney's is it Disney Plus that was just announced?
Yes.
They're gonna have Star Wars, Marvel, and a couple other things, Pixar, and a couple others. Are you gonna subscribe to that?
I don't know yet. Yeah.
Dude, just for the Mandalorian, I'm thinking about doing it. Just for the Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I don't know, because the thing is that it's already expensive as it is. Like when you're getting $12 from Netflix, and then you're getting this, and then you're getting that.
I think Disney's 65 or 69.
God, man, you know what? Might as well just stay with cable. Right? By the time you end up paying, you're like, okay, Netflix is $12, and then Disney Plus is going to be like $65, and then you got, if you want Hulu, another so-and-so, you're like, well, it's coming out to as much as I would pay for cable.
Well, here's the thing. I have Netflix because it's free through T-Mobile. Thank you, T-Mobile. Thank you for taking care of veterans. You're awesome. But the streaming company that will get my hard dollar that I'll actually pay for is one where I can go back and watch any 80s movie or older that I want. I don't have to look for it and it's not there. Like, that was my problem with Amazon, and my problem with Netflix is I wanted to watch certain movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space or Crow or something else. And I was never finding it. I'm like, this is making me mad.
Right. It's like, every time you scroll down, you're like, what is this? You're like, what are these Indian movies? What are these, Japanese movies? You're like, what the hell?
I got one for you. DuckTales, the movie, the very first DuckTales that got me into the show, the original, right? It's not on any of those. And I went to the store and I bought it, but it was the wrong DuckTales movie. It was the other one. So I still want to see DuckTales Treasure of the Lost Lamp with my kids, because that was a really cool movie back then. I thought so. But I couldn't find it on any of the streaming ones. If you guys know, leave it in the comments, but I haven't found it yet. What was another ones? The Three Stooges. My kids love the black and white Three Stooges. They love the movie. But going back and watching it, because I actually want to get rid of all my DVDs. I just, they just take up space. And everything's streaming now. I would rather stream or have it saved on a strong hard drive.
On a hard drive, yeah. Mm-hmm. For me, God, oh my God, I forgot. It was on the tip of my tongue before I was about to say something. It starts with Eric Roberts and...
Not Best of the Best.
Best of the Best, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, just part one. I could never find that movie. Of course I have it. I have it on my DVD collection. But the thing is, just to find streaming, just like you're saying, I can never find it. And that's a fantastic movie, and that's one of the movies I actually tear up on.
That one and No Retreat, No Surrender.
Oh, sure, man, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Van Damme.
With Van Damme in there, yeah. But going back to Best of the Best, man, at the ending is just it touches me, man.
Tommy.
Oh man, and when he's about to kill him, and then and then you just see when they're getting the medals, and then you see him approach Tommy. It's like, oh man, it's a touchy feeling. I mean, like, if you have not seen Best of the Best, see it. I guarantee you, any man will actually just get that choke, at least that choke. I remember as a kid, I teared up. And now did I fully cry? Like, no, I didn't. It's just like, how guys get. They're like,
well, it's because men automatically have a sense of honor built in. Now, not every man is honorable, but we have a sense of honor built in. And to see your opponent that detests you, that wants you dead, to see him acknowledge that he has been beaten and to give you the credit, it's powerful.
Yeah, and then the way he did it, and the way he apologized for his brother's death, and and man, it was just. And then not only that, the fight before that, the one with the Eric Roberts, you see how he just, he got injured. He was dislocated. His shoulder was dislocated, and they popped it back in. And you see him struggling. He wins the fight, but you see how much pain he's in. How they had to face that opponent, and man, they do. I was like, I'm done. I try showing that to my kids, but I'm to show them, like, when I go, you know what? I want them to be in the mood to actually see that movie.
That's the funny thing about kids, huh? You're like, all right, kids, I want to show you this movie. Nah, we don't want to watch it today.
Yeah.
But then you try another time, and they sit down and they watch it, and they're like, oh, I like that. It's funny how kids are like that. They gotta be in the mood. It's the same thing with food. Hey, you guys want corn dog? Nah. What about burgers? Nah.
And then all of a sudden you just take them. Like, we're gonna eat here, we're gonna eat there, and all of a sudden, hey, this is actually pretty good.
Told you, kids. Back to the Mandalorian. So we have to post the pictures on social media. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but man, the fact that Jon Favreau is directing it, that already has me in there. I'm there. But then today I saw that Carl Weathers is in there, and it sounds like, from what David's telling us from Star Wars Celebration, it sounds like he's like a bad guy. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Carl Weathers is here and he's a bad guy? That's going to be cool. And then just the silhouettes of the Mandalorian. I don't know if it's Boba or who it is, but it looks cool. The production value looks cool. I'm set. I'm interested in seeing where the story goes. Rogue One was good. I was having that discussion with somebody else the other day. Some nerds were fighting about, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, or The Return of Skywalker, or something.
Yeah.
And which we're about to get into. But
now, going back to Netflix, did you hear what was it? Was it
Spielberg?
No, it wasn't Spielberg, but it was
getting an Oscar?
No. But someone else backed it up. Helen Mirren, I think it was Helen Mirren.
Oh man, I like her.
Yeah. She said, "Fuck Netflix." And again, I can see the argument that Spielberg, brought to the table, brought the attention of it, and I understand it, and I understand your opinion. But to have anger, towards Netflix, that's where I have to draw the line. Because the thing is, everyone here can actually, when you actually see Netflix originals, everyone here can see, you know what? There are some movies that are far better that I find on Netflix that look Oscar worthy.
They have actually been released in cinema.
Yeah, exactly. They have actually been released. So therefore, the argument about about hating that, I'll draw a line. But if you can actually bring up a good argument, like say, i.e. Spielberg did bring up a good argument. You know what? It's just, the production value of what goes into it, the fact of seeing something in a theater is different, than seeing it at home. But when you're getting far better movies, far better quality on a streaming service than you are at the theaters, it's like, okay, I'd rather give the Oscar to them than what I'm getting at the movie theater.
But that's entrepreneur, that's good business, is when you take less and do more with. That is the spirit of entrepreneurship. Yeah. The companies with the bigger budget, $100 million, $150 million, and you can produce all these wonderful sets and go to these locations, but the final product is meh.
Yeah.
Here you got $100,000 budget, and you do what $150 million couldn't do. They deserve some kind of recognition.
Yeah, exactly. That's my argument about as far as being Oscar worthy, or to me it's not Emmy worthy. That's Oscar worthy. But again, the last time I actually went to the movies and actually felt like, man, that's just a freaking badass movie. That should win the Oscar.
The Martian.
The Martian. I was like, wow, this is, but when it didn't win, and what other movie? It was Leonardo DiCaprio, The Revenant. Oh, I saw the movie and I didn't think it was. I didn't go in, they're leaving like, well.
The last Leo movie that should have won the Oscar over The Revenant was what was that one I just had? Where they're in Boston, he's a cop.
The Departed.
That should have won an Oscar. But that's the thing with Hollywood, and hopefully the Academy and the SAG are working that out so that the right movies and the right actors get recognized at the right time. Like a lot of the world felt that when Denzel Washington got his Oscar for Training Day, we're like, you got an Oscar for that? There were so many other roles you should have won an Oscar for.
Exactly.
The Bone Collector.
Yeah.
So many roles Denzel should have won an Oscar for.
I mean, and you and I had this discussion. I clearly thought, Crimson Tide, both him and Gene Hackman.
Oh yeah, oh my God.
I was like, when I saw that, I was like, that should have won an Oscar. How come they weren't even nominated? That was just great acting altogether on both parts. If Denzel Washington got Best Actor, Gene Hackman should have got Best Supporting Actor. I just thought either way, whatever it was. But when Denzel just plays a thug and just like, well, anybody. I don't want to say anybody. I'm not. I don't want to degrade Denzel, but you played a thug. You're like,
hell, even Denzel in what's the one by Ridley Scott, American Gangster.
That was good. Yeah.
Freaking another Oscar. But let's not get into it because we could pull out so many times. But what we want to change in cinema and in the award season is that the actor, the movie, they're even petitioning now for stuntmen to get awards.
You know what? I'll agree with that.
Recognition.
I'll agree with that because there's some that where you just, because they do a lot of the work, and a lot of stunt, to where the actors don't get injuries.
I would like to see what the qualifications for that Oscar.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. You just can't. That Tom Cruise actually applies for that. He does all his own stunts.
Yeah, him, Jackie Chan, and then again, Keanu Reeves is coming up.
Dude, John Wick 3 looks good, dude.
It does.
John Wick 3 looks amazing.
Yeah, but you know what? If they're able to pull that off, I think it's going to be right behind either with it or not right behind the original Star Wars as the best trilogy.
Ooh, that's saying a lot.
No,
Diego went deep.
No, you got to admit, because part 1 and part 2 just lived up.
No, part 1 was good.
Yeah.
Part 2 was nowhere near ESB.
No, no.
Empire Strikes
No,
Back.
you know what? People, people have this. This is like you. You have this in the Empire Strikes Back. Everybody thinks it's this great, and I mean, again, I didn't. Other than being on Hoth, after that it slowed down for me. Granted, it was a lot of story and it filled a lot of between 1 and 3 and between episode 4 and 6, right? And I'm getting that right. I have to make sure. Between episode 4 and 6, it filled that gap, and it had all the story, had the character buildness, and which I totally understand. I totally get. But was it? Was it?
It was better than Return of the Jedi, though.
No, you and I differ there. I love the Return of the Jedi.
If you would have cut out I don't hate the Ewoks, but it didn't do much for the story. Endor was kind of important, but the rest of it I didn't need. But the final part of Return of the Jedi is really it. The beginning, where you meet Jabba and you're on his barge, great. And then you get the in-between is okay. Then you get to the Ewoks and you're like, eh. But then the final with the throne room and Vader and all that is great. So if they didn't have that, if they did something else with that, then yeah, Return of the Jedi, it would have been 1, 2, bam.
Yeah, because the thing is, for me with the Return of the Jedi, you got to see the Emperor. You saw his strength. It pulled everything together, and all that. Again, in those 3 series, in those 3 movies, so to say, and it just, I thought it was powerful. And as a kid, me being as a kid, I enjoyed the Ewoks. Now, was it a little silly I see it now, yeah, it's a little silly, but as a kid, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I saw, okay, they're on a different, but you saw the whole realm of Star Wars. They're on a different planet. You see fights up here, you see fights down there. I just thought that was so cool because you're seeing battles here, battles there, battles. Not only that, then you're seeing a personal battle on the Death Star with Luke and his father and the Emperor. It was just like, man, you got this story, you got this story, you got this story, and the way they just put it all together. As a kid, I could see that, like, man, I'm all over the place with this movie, and it was so awesome to where people loved. However, when you're going back to the Empire Strikes Back, people love just the story building. They love how they found how Luke's getting trained on, with Yoda,
Well, one of the things about Empire Strikes Back is they made Darth Vader more fierce. In the first one, you get the one incident where he's choking, and you get some other. But in part 2, I think he chokes 2 or 3 people out, and then he talks about her no disintegrations, and he's just very stern. It really establishes his leadership role among all the other cool things that we get with that movie. But I actually want to use this part to segue into the the Rise of Skywalker or the Return of Skywalker.
I think it's the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. But the other thing I wanted to talk real quick when you mentioned the Emperor. Now, so here is my fanboy thinking. So everybody is hyped about the new trailer because at the end everybody's thinking that Laugh is the Emperor. They're saying it sounds like the Emperor. They suspect the Emperor's coming back.
You think it's Luke?
I don't know, but here's my thing. What if the Emperor is actually Luke's grandfather? That's what I threw at David. What if Darth Vader is his son, and because we never found out who Vader's dad was.
Yeah, and the thing is, that you remember in was it the Phantom Menace? I think it was episode 1, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
When Liam Neeson's character, I forgot his name, But he asked,
Qui-Gon Jinn.
huh?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, Qui-Gon, right? He asked the mother. He goes, "Who is his father?" And she never gave it up. You know, so I can understand if they actually brought that. You know, it'd be actually, you know, it would actually be cool.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I would like to know because his midichlorians are right.
Yeah, it was off the charts.
Yeah, it was off the charts. You know, they have never seen that before. You know, they usually see that in Masters or whatnot. I forgot what it was. But the thing is, you know, it would tie everything together.
It would.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't forgive Abrams for the mess that he's created in this new series.
Yeah, you know.
But it would tie some stuff together and be like, okay, as long as the story works right. But man, I mean, that's what they've been looking for in the last two movies. They're looking for that, oh snap, you know, just like we were in ESP when they were like, oh snap, Darth Vader's just looks bad. I mean, it's gonna be another oh snap moment. Palpatine is his grandfather, like, damn, it's twisted. What the hell's going on here? So we'll see. But that's what I threw at David when he was telling me about, you know, people speculating and stuff, and with Rey, you know, with Rey and Kylo, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, that's where the story gets flawed. You know, again, with me, I'm pretty sure with you. When I saw the trailer, guys, I was like, you know, I was hoping that we're gonna fix the issues that a lot of us fans had with the movie. You know, for example, where does Rey get? How is she so proficient at using the lightsaber, using the Force, without having any freaking formal training? Yeah. Again, we were having this discussion before we did this. Is that Luke had that formal training? He had to go through
the struggles and the trials.
The struggles and the trials. Even though he was older, but how is she so proficient? And it's like, you know what? If you're not gonna at least try to fix it, you know, I'll go see it, but I'm not gonna be.
We're not gonna rush. And tell me this. So, like, you know, people are hooping and hollering about Shazam being a great DC movie, right? Shazam's so great, right? That's why it's sold out. Avengers has sold out almost all their showings in like these first 2 weeks, and it's still got 2 more to come out. I mean, I had trouble finding a spot to watch it.
Did you end up getting tickets?
No, I got tickets.
Okay.
But I mean, I had to get really early tickets. But you know, the great thing is the kids are off that day, so we were like, damn man, I'm gonna have to take the kids out of school early. Nah, they're actually off for the Battle of Flowers.
Yeah.
So we're good. But looking at that, look at the numbers. I don't expect fans to rush to go see Episode 9 because of what has transpired beforehand.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see it? Sure. You know, I'll pick it up maybe the day of the tickets. I'll go see it, but I'm not seeing it in IMAX, and I ain't running to the theater.
Yeah. If there's tickets available, there's tickets available.
It's kind of like Hellboy. Let's segue into that. So with Hellboy, I told you guys that I wasn't gonna go see it. I saw another trailer. It looked okay. The thing in the trailer that won me over was the monsters. I was like, okay, I'll go see this for the monsters. So I went this morning. I caught a matinee, paid my $5. I watched it. The best things about it are that they use practical effects at times. I always will applaud practical effects in a film. The monsters were cool, and they went like no holds bar on the goriness. It was gory. I mean, there was blood, and you're like, damn. So the thing that it didn't have is the original Del Toro series. The comedic timing was there. You know, when Hellboy made a joke and when somebody else made a joke, it worked. This one was it fell flat, or it was campy. They almost lost me at the beginning of the movie. There was two, and they're good actors, Mila Jovovich and Ian McShane. But there was 2 instances where their acting was just bad. They should have picked a different cut. And I was turned off. I was like, oh man, that's bad. So there were some ups and downs with it. You know, you saw our post on social media. We recommend just waiting for Redbox. You know, you're not missing any experience at the theater. It's nothing like, oh my God, you got to go see it. There's 2 end credits. As we already said in our social media post, Abe is not in this movie. Abe or what was her name? His girlfriend. Liz.
Liz, yeah.
Liz isn't in this movie, and Abe is not in this movie. Instead, they gave us Lobster Johnson, and I don't remember. I think his name was Savage. One of the guys actually turns into a cat. It's kind of cool. That was a cool thing about it. The opening sequence begins with a fight against a vampire, him and a vampire. But I was looking at that vampire, and it looked so good in CGI. I said, you know what? That's what Man-Bat should look like. Whenever they finally bring Man-Bat to the Batman series, yeah. That's what Man-Bat should look like. That looked cool.
You know, it'd be kind of cool if they were able to, you know, tie in Blade, you know, with Hellboy.
Really?
You know, it'll be cool because it's almost that you know, like you're dealing with vampires, as you were saying, the vampires and the vampire realm, right? They're both Marvel. Are they Marvel characters?
But wouldn't they be on the same side? No, Hellboy is Dark Horse.
Dark Horse. Okay, yeah, and then I'm wrong then. Again, I haven't. I've never. You know, I've never read Hellboy.
Forgiven, my son.
Yeah, I've never read Hellboy. So yeah.
And that you sense that in the dialogue too. You sense that there was some writing that felt straight out of the comic book, especially with Lobster Johnson. I was like, that definitely feels like a comic book writing. And I've never read any of the Hellboy, but it just felt that way. Now the interesting thing that we put in our review is that there was, I haven't seen one in a long time. There was a Star Wars reference twice in the movie. And it was funny. I was like, oh snap, they use a Star Wars. It's been a long time since I've seen a movie that it used to be very common. You know, all the time there was some kind of little Star Wars reference. So it was kind of funny to see that. We'll see if
now question, yeah, you know, compared to the Guillermo del Toro and this one, how like, you know, were you just missing Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah. The thing is, Guillermo del Toro had a finished quality to it, where this one was rough around the edges. And you know, I was looking at a picture of Perlman in costume and Harbour in costume, and Harmon looks more realistic, right? The muscle structure and stuff. Where, well, Del Toro, he was really boxy, so he kind of had a comic structure. But again, it was the finish of the Del Toro picture that wins over on the Harbour picture. Harbour.
Now I gotta admit, Harbour does look. I mean, just based on the pictures of, you know, of the comic book. He does look similar to the comic book version. However, Ron Perlman just brought life to Hellboy.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's his acting. And that's not saying anything about Harbour. You know, I'm a fan of some of Harbour's other work. But the interesting thing that you say about that is they do a flashback sequence in this movie and they show a younger version. And that younger version is actually perfect. You're like, wow, I like this version of Hellboy, where later on he's older and he looks weathered. They should have stuck with the younger version through the whole movie. That would have worked. Yeah. He looked better then than you see in the trailers. So, I'd say Redbox again. You're not missing anything interesting. You know, there's a couple movies. We'll glance over. We're not going to go deep into them because we want to get to other things. But Pet Sematary. So I hadn't seen the original one in a long time, since I was a kid. I went and took my daughter to see this one. It was okay. They changed the story. Instead of Cage dying, it's the daughter this time.
Yeah, it's the daughter, yeah.
And that's where it gets twisted. So in the first one, you know, Cage is kind of this playful little boy, but he's homicidal. In this one, the daughter, you know, all of a sudden becomes homicidal, but then she gets twisted. The things that she says to her mother, you're like, damn, that's freaking twisted, dude. You not only made this child wicked, but you went and had some twisted things that they said. It was really twisted. Then the cat, and then the John Lithgow. So I went to see the movie because I'm a fan of John Lithgow. I went to see the movie because I've become a fan of Jason Clarke. I like Stephen King movies. I'm not, you know, hardcore. I don't read the books, so I don't know. After the movie, I came back, and the way that it ended almost like it was The Walking Dead. It didn't end like the original. So at the end of this one, I'm gonna say it's been out. You guys seen it? The dad dies. He's the last one to die. The mom kills the dad. The daughter kills the mom. The mom kills the dad. And then the boy is in the car. And so the last thing you see is the three zombies, because that's exactly what they are, coming to get the little boy. And that's how it ends. You're like, that's it? So the ending was that. Afterwards, I saw the original again. I actually like the original better than the remake. So Pet Sematary, wait till it comes on cable. Yeah,
you know, I guess because I did read the book, and I just, when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, it wasn't as scary as the book. And
people were saying that.
And I was hoping it would be, you know, just scary.
In these relaxed modern times when you can push it a little more in the theater, freaking give us the book.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just stretch it out. What are you holding back for? Just because it has animals and kids, you know, you can't push it or what?
So let's talk about that. So in the book, does he cut off Cage's head?
You know,
it's been a while.
I
had somebody else that couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So in the final scene, he's trying to kill his daughter because she killed the mother, and he's got her on the ground and she's throwing a fit, and he's got the shovel and he's about to tuck her head off. And they don't. They kill the dad. I was like, y'all couldn't do it. Y'all did all this other stuff, and you couldn't do that. And it's just crazy. So in the original, the mom comes back into the house, and man, that was disgusting. So that's where, that one little scene in the original impressed me compared to the whole new movie. The wife comes back in after he buries her, right? Because she dies. He's like, no, honey, I'll bring you back. She comes in, and she's leaking ooze out of her face, and she's all tore up, and he still makes out with her, and then she kills him. I'm like, that's freaking gross, man. There was nothing like that in this new movie. There was nothing like
Yeah, nothing else going to push, what the original couldn't do. You couldn't push it.
You know what I need to get? And I don't know if we'll add it to our podcast or whatever, but the clip from Swordfish, dude, the one we love. The beginning of Swordfish.
Oh, the beginning of Swordfish.
Get it?
Push the envelope.
I freaking love that. John Travolta, that is your best line ever.
They give us, it's all shit. It's all shit. And what's the problem?
Remarkable. Shit. Love that
bullshit,
line,
right? Yeah. They don't push the envelope. What if Al Pacino's character just says, screw it, I'm gonna kill everybody. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Do it.
But that's what made Swordfish that beginning was just freaking awesome.
The movie was okay.
Yeah. But the beginning, that's what I was talking about, the beginning, because the thing is, you know what? He wasn't playing. Move or this goes.
Yep.
All right, or not. You know what? And he tells Don Cheadle's character, "Hey, this is their fortress. This is their cage. If it goes past this, it's going to happen." And sure shit, it goes past it. You're like, boom. And then you see, all those ball bearings. It was like, oh man, they weren't playing. And then you actually, fuck yeah. It's like, when you just push the envelope. And again, they don't push the envelope.
And everything. So that Pet Cemetery was a pass. Shazam, you didn't get to see Shazam.
No, I didn't get to see it.
So, a lot
Well, you know what? But again, going back to what we discussed, is that nothing caught me. Not even... just when I look at the previews, I'm like, okay, something grabbed me, and me being a DC fan, nothing grabbed me. I guess, what also what it was, but maybe you can actually, tie it in. I didn't see Black Adam. I think that's what kind of like.
Well, they never established Mark Strong's name. They never say what is it. I didn't catch it. If they did, forgive me, but I didn't catch what his villain name was, and so. I watched the movie for Mark Strong. I am a Mark Strong fan. Ever since he was in Sherlock Holmes, and then he was Sinestro, Mark Strong fan. The other one, the guy that plays Shazam, no big deal. And like I was telling Diego before we went on, there was 2 belly laughs, hard laugh out louds, oh my God. But other than that, in the middle of the movie, I looked around, and the other adults were as bored as I was in the movie. They were just like sitting there. And at the end of the movie, the ones that got up and applauded were the kids. Not the adults, the kids got up. So this movie was for kids. Sure, it's in the DC universe and it should be for us, but this was made for kids. The kids enjoyed it. The adults were, it was kind of a split decision.
And it's not really supposed to be for kids. Again, comics were actually made for, like the younger generation. But the thing is that when you actually see the story itself, it's not really a kid story. It's a kid. It's a kid. But the thing, whenever he says Shazam, is that he becomes this hero, but the hero's not supposed to be silly. That's what I know of Shazam. It was never silly when he was an adult, but all the trailers that I saw, the previews I saw, it was always silly. Like, man, quit being. And again, all I could think about was big. Like with Tom Hanks. Yeah. All I could think about is like, here we go, big meets Superman.
Big in a superhero costume.
Yeah.
You know what I think studios aren't getting? And I hope you guys are watching. I hope you listen. Come back and find our video. But we've said it time and time again. Make the movie for adults. If it's good, our kids will follow. Simple rule.
The best example, look at the 80s movies. RoboCop, Predator, Aliens, Die Hard. Those movies were not made for kids. When you actually look at the movie, right?
They won us over as kids.
Yeah, but they won us over as kids because, again, my brother, my sister, they took me to the movie because they wanted to go see it. I was like, man, this is actually a freaking damn good movie. Me being in the 5th grade or 6th grade, I understood those movies. So don't dumb it down for the kids.
Don't dumb it down.
Just because you want to get seats in there, the parents will take the freaking kids to the movies. Trust me on this one. If it happened in the 80s, they're gonna love it. That's why those movies can actually
stand the test of time.
Stand the test of time because they were not played for. They were not dumbed down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were made for adults, but they appealed to kids.
Yeah.
The other thing is stop forcing the comedy.
Yes.
Let it happen naturally. Just in
Yes.
situations, just in the scene, let it unfold naturally. Don't write the comedy into that. And here's one I guarantee Diego's going to agree with me on. Stallone Judge Dredd. I love the movie. He dislikes the movie, but he dislikes the movie because of Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
It was written in there. Don't write the comedy in there. Let it happen naturally. So you stick with those two formulas, you're going to go a long way. You guys already like that you're making 150 million on the opening weekend. You already like it. Do the right thing and you're going to make more. Another example, Venom. I was telling a guy that was at my house the other day looking at the XM Venom that I have. I said, you know what? That movie made $800 million. If Sony and Marvel had simply agreed to put the logo on him and given a small point of the feedback of the story, you know, I was in New York and the symbiote attached to me, and that's how I got this. Just tied in, boom. It would have been $1 billion movie. But you didn't want to put the logo on. You didn't want to you didn't want to work together. You get 800 million. And I know you're happy. I know you're sitting there counting, saying, "Well, we made 800 million." Why make 800 million when you can make $1 billion?
Yeah, all you have to do is just tie in Spider-Man and
come back to it later.
Yeah, and just come back to it later, and you would have had me, you would have had other fans, but you would have had the hardcore fans.
Yep.
Yeah, the hardcore fans. And again,
the comic nerds.
Now the movie itself is a good movie.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, and Venom looks freaking really good.
But he would have been amazing with his logo.
Exactly. Point said.
That's it.
Yeah. You know.
So we've given you our feedback. It's up to you whether you listen, but we know you like those big opening weekend money makers. Stick to that formula, and it's going to be prosperous for the next 10 years. And dude, a lot of people are looking forward to 2020. There's a lot coming out. I can't name it off now. I mean, there's still stuff we got to talk about. We still got to talk about Dumbo. But for me, speaking of which, Disney, Dumbo was a foul tip. Excuse me. For me, Dumbo had those moments that you remember from the cartoon movie where, you know, it got you right here.
Yeah.
But that's it. It didn't have anything else. The crows weren't in it. The story went in a different route. They tried to use.
Well, you know what? You know who they replaced the crows with, right? Remember those three boys where, Dumbo puts the water on them.
Oh.
Yeah, those were the.
Those are.
Yeah.
No, the crows were. Dude, I wanted to see the movie for the crows. I was looking for the crows. The other disappointment about Dumbo, and don't throw your screen. Michael Keaton, man. You know I'm a fan of Michael Keaton. Ever since Gun Ho, maybe even before Gun Ho, I've been a fan of Michael Keaton. But him and Tim Burton couldn't decide what character he wanted to be in. He kept trying to have an accent, and for a split second, you heard Beetlejuice. I'm like, dude, who are you? Are you this old rich guy running the circus? Are you Beetlejuice? Which character are you playing in this movie? So I was disappointed. Compared to his role in the remake of RoboCop, this was a disappointment for me. So that's just me. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was okay. I mean, but when there was some tearjerker. I mean, there was some kids that were crying. I was like, okay, it caught them, but it didn't catch the adults who actually loved the old Dumbo movie.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a fan of the Dumbo movie because I was like, man, I was a kid when I saw that, and you were hoping to live it, and they got Dumbo right. They got the Dumbo was perfect. To me, it was more the actors that they just like
the actors in the story.
Yeah, the kids. I'm not gonna. And the
I
daughter.
I like DeVito.
DeVito was good.
Yeah.
Because he took the place of the mouse. Even though the mouse, but he made up for that. The kids, I thought they were a little bit too robotic, at times. Colin Farrell, he was all right. I wish his character was a little bit more. I did like. What was her name?
The one that was the acrobat.
Yes. Is it Eva Green?
Eva Green?
Yeah. Was it Eva Green?
I don't know if it is, but I know she's your favorite.
Yeah. And it was Eva Green, right? Yeah, I could have sworn it was Eva Green. Yeah, and her and then. But I'll agree with Michael Keaton. He just didn't seem that, like that villainous type that you would see in a Disney movie.
And the interesting thing I want to bring up about Keaton, and you're gonna get off tangent real quick, is that a lot of people for the longest time have wanted him to come back as Batman in a Batman Beyond, because in Batman Beyond, the old Batman trains the new Batman. And so people are, hey, Keaton, And I asked somebody the other day, I said, hey, would you want Tim Burton to come back and direct that? Batman Beyond. Tim Burton, Michael Keaton doing Batman Beyond, passing the mantle on to somebody else.
I wouldn't want Tim Burton. I would love Michael Keaton. I just wouldn't want Tim Burton.
Why?
Well, because the thing is, if you actually look at his movies, again, with Christopher Nolan, what I like is that he puts sets with with reality. Mm-hmm. But Michael Keaton, with Tim Burton, if you ever look at his movies, they always look like sets. Mm. Like if you're watching a stage, but on live on screen, right? And that's what, if you ever see Batman Returns or Batman 2, yeah, that whole movie looked like a set.
Yeah,
never did look like it was out in the field or
actually in a city where it's snowing. Yeah, it looked like an actual play.
Yeah, and when you look at part 1, you look at part 2, it looks like a play, right?
Yeah.
And then if you ever look at some of his movies, like Edward Scissorhands, and everything looks like a set. And I don't want that, and I want that I want sets met with realism and that action. Well, not that action, but I want that reality. That's what I'm trying to say. It mixed in together, and it just ties and it flows. I like that.
It would be interesting to see if Nolan would come back, and it would be interesting to see the chemistry between Nolan and Keaton.
Yeah, it would be really good. And that's what when you see Avengers, you can see like, for example, remember when you finally on the Avengers, the very first Avengers, right? Of course, that's a set when you finally get to see all of them in the circle, right? Mm-hmm. When they're all just looking up at the building, that's a set. But the thing is, there's a city right behind them. They put into reality. That's what I love.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the first Avengers for me is right up there with the original Star Wars trilogy. That's for me, it deserves its place with that. The interesting thing on that, again, another tangent, is that a lot of talk with Endgame coming up, and I've actually put the hashtags out there. I'm not going to show you I started them, but I put the hashtags out there. Thanos was framed, because I actually agree with Cap. He says, I've tried to tell people to move on, but we just don't. They're not able to, and we just don't do that here. But that's it. Thanos didn't kill any. The only person he killed was Gamora. He pushed Gamora off the cliff so he can get the stone. That was it. The snap did not kill anybody. And actually, from when I'm looking at Endgame, again, my speculation, I actually think that Hawkeye's daughter dies. Because you see her beforehand, she's training and he's happy, and then you see him, he looks like a broken man.
Yeah.
And then you see Scarlet grab his hand. I'm like, ooh, I think his daughter and his wife went with the snap. And so you could see the fuel for vengeance there against Thanos. But again, he didn't pick anybody. It was random.
Yeah, it was random.
The universe picks you.
It picks you, yeah.
So for me, Thanos is framed. He didn't do it. Thanos didn't do it. Thanos just snapped. That's it. So I'm actually happy where Infinity War left off. I don't need to see Endgame, but yes, we're going to go see it. And yes, we know the Avengers have to overthrow Thanos or kill him or whatever they decide to do. We'll see.
I think they're going to overthrow him. I don't think they're going to kill him. I think they're going to overthrow him. Yeah. That way that way you can see other movies if they decide to keep on,
Thanos
but if they want to keep doing the Marvel universe, because you just don't want to end it.
Well, it doesn't end with Thanos. There has to be a new bad guy, but a lot of speculation has come up with that. Who's going to be the new baddie? A lot of people have been talking about that, but I don't know. I'm very interested.
Well, but you know what? There's a universe in Doctor Strange. You can go with that universe. Shoot, man. There's a lot of other bad guys that. But you know what? The main character that falls in almost every storyline is Spider-Man. Spider-Man has so many characters. There's so many bad guys. There's so many. He deals with so much. Is that you can go in that realm, but if they can only get Spider-Man right.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Far From Home simply because of the other characters, primarily Mysterio. I'm looking forward to Mysterio, and the other ones I'm not really wild about. I really would have liked. I kind of like the Lizard in, what was that, Spider-Man 3? Or, no, it was The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2, right? I like the Lizard, but he wasn't Lizard enough.
I'm still waiting for the Goblin. I'm still waiting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still waiting for the actual true Goblin. Not the one that,
Defoe,
played. That was
the second one was nothing. That was ridiculous.
That was
Defoe
ridiculous.
was the closest we've got.
Yeah. But, and he had the voice. He had the character. It's like, just put him in makeup or, just...
Put a mask. Put him
something,
mask on him.
Yeah, put him the Goblin. It's like, man, but
maybe Defoe didn't want prosthetics.
No, it was actually the director, Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, Sam Raimi. Thought that
removable mask.
Yeah, the removable mask, actually looked, and I was like, no, and I actually want the Goblin.
Okay.
That's what I really want.
We'll see if and how they ever give it to us. You never know. The newest thing that's happened in comics is the Red Goblin. And so, we may get a Red Goblin before we get an actual Green Goblin. We'll see what Marvel does. Man, what was I about to say? Where were we going with that? Spider-Man. We're talking about the Joker. Did you see the latest?
Yeah, the Joaquin. Yeah, the Joaquin one. I'm mixed on that one. I really don't know, but I hope it's good. I know they're trying to give him his origin story, but I like to see what Joaquin brings to the table.
Well, for me, and I've been telling people this, for me, Joaquin's performance in the trailer shines through. It's like a bright light. Like, damn, dude.
Well, again, to me, what's really throwing me off is the damn makeup.
Yeah.
That's what's really throwing me off. I'm just hoping that's his pre-makeup before he decides to go to the green and the red, the white face and just I just want to see what it's gonna do, because right now everything's throwing me off. Yes, I'm gonna go see it. Right now I'm not giving any bad reviews because it's all brand new to me. But I just hope that it just leads. Okay, I know it's an origin story, and all I hope is that it leads to the Joker, how we know the Joker. It's got to have. How does he end up with that smile? Mm-hmm. How does he end up with the green hair? How does he end? How does he end up? With, the white face. If it's just makeup, as long as they explain it, if that's his pre-makeup and it goes to his original look, okay, I'm sold.
We're talking about DC here. They're not organized like that.
But again, that's why I'm holding my reservation.
Yeah.
That's why I'm holding my reservations. Deep reservations.
Deep reservations.
Now, again, nothing to say anything bad about Joaquin, because Joaquin's I think it's a great actor. Yeah. So I don't want to badmouth it. I'm just, but am I holding my reservations? Yes, I am.
Well, the thing I'll say about that is that and I've talked to people about it. The thing I don't like about the trailer is all the bullying. I hate that they've made bullying the forefront. Now, when those kids first hit him and take his sign, that works, because that's the initial. This guy's getting bullied trying to do his job. I get it. But throughout the rest of the movie, he's just bullied. And I said, you know what? A person does not end up twisted like the Joker from bullying. They end up twisted because of their family. Either they were molested or they were abused, or there was something in that spectrum that twisted him, not the fact that people were bullying him on the subway and stuff. That's the catalyst. That's what finally does it in. But it just felt like too much in the movie. The other thing was where was I going to see? Talking about the bully. I again, as we've said with Batman, I'm tired of going back with DC and learning the origin story. We've seen where the Joker came from, Jack Nicholson. We saw where Batman came from. We don't need to see Batman's parents die again. We don't need to see... So this needs to be the last origin Joker. There is so much great content in comics that they can do with Joker. You could have used Greg Capullo's Batman and Joker material and made a great Joker. The Capullo Joker is amazing. And then the fact that he transitions, he cuts off his face, and all the stuff that happens in the comic, that's what I want to see for a modern Joker. Don't go back and redo something that Jack Nicholson made great the first time. The first Tim Burton Joker and Batman, that worked. He was a thug. He got dropped into a vat of chemicals. He became the Joker. All right, we understood it. We got it. Great movie. Now we're going back and now we want to explore the psyche and the torment. And you're like, do we have to? Do we have to?
I guess that's a testament to Nolan and Heath Ledger, because he
showed up, he was twisted.
He was twisted. Like, how the hell did he come so twisted? How did and
he hints at it during the movie. Yeah. You want to know how I got these scars?
Yeah.
My father was a drunk, and but we don't have to see it. Yeah. The DC felt compelled that we have to see this transformation. And again, nothing against Joaquin. We know he's going to do a great job. I'm already saying that his performance is deserving of some consideration. That's what I was trying to say earlier with it being so bright.
And you know what's going to be funny? If that's, and the thing is, everybody will say, it's like there's something about the Joker that just, because Jack Nicholson, they all say that, man, he did damn good job as a Joker, right? And it's surprising why he didn't get nominated for an Oscar, right? Okay, here comes here comes Heath Ledger as a Joker. Boom, he gets nominated. And if Joaquin pulls this off, again, another Joker character or another actor doing the Joker. If he does really well,
he's gonna do better than what's his name? The singer.
No, you talking about Jared Leto?
Yeah, he's gonna do better than that.
Talking about Jared Leto?
Yeah.
You know what? We'll see. I mean, I kind of like Jared Leto's look, because it had the slick look. It had the, his cheek, his, I guess everything, his facial features looked sharp, and it just looked like the Joker that you would see in the comic book. But, where Joaquin, he has this, something about right here, has those Joker's just evil eyes. Even that look, it has that Joker look. So. But if he does it if he does really well and it comes out awesome to where he gets an Academy Award, at least nomination, award. I go, that just tells you how powerful that character is, and how you cannot get that character wrong.
But a lot of films have used the reference source, the comics, and again, Capullo and Snyder's stories. You've got material right there. Don't give us... Joaquin has to be the final origin. And then evolve from that. Whatever direction, whether you want to go with the slick Rick Joker that Capullo came up with, or the Joker that cuts off his face and then restitches it, wherever you want to go. What I'm looking forward to, DC, I'm looking for the Batman Who Laughs. The newest, sinister character in the DC universe. That's the guy I'm looking for. I'm waiting to get that on the big screen. And why does that work for me? You guys need to look at the original Hellraisers and your Joker character, because that's what that is. It's basically a Cenobite Joker. If you can't see that that's money right there, you're missing the picture.
I think that, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they actually tested out on Netflix or something like that.
Okay, I'm down with that. Yeah. Dude, I've been saying that for years with Marvel. Marvel should do a 5-part mini-series of Marvel Zombies on Netflix. And again, with the quality that we've been talking about, dude, they'll probably knock it out of the park. People are like, oh, we need a movie. No. We're good. We got it on Netflix. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Zombie Wolverine on the big screen. I don't need to see that. I just need to see right here. It's like having that drink and having to watch.
Yeah, and you're here, and you're pacing yourself. You're like, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah. But again, so every time I go to the movies, I'm just like, they just keep popping out Godzilla.
Woo! That's gonna be good. I'm telling you.
Oh man, that's. I just hope the movie lives to the hype, because when you're just seeing the battles, just the little snippets of battles, when Godzilla just holds King Ghidorah, boom, it's like, oh man, it's gonna be an epic battle.
And Rodan's flying around on fire.
Yeah, and I just hope that when they do the battles, they're not just 2-minute battles. They're like, oh man, that was it. That's because when you actually saw Godzilla face the Mutos, man, it was a long ass battle.
And the Mutos were cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could see Godzilla was getting tired, and you know what? Those battles are that's what I want. And I just hope each battle, or the battle with King Ghidorah, because I have a funny feeling that Rodan and Mothra are gonna side with Godzilla
to fight Ghidorah.
Yeah, to fight King Ghidorah.
That thing's a beast.
Yeah. Because again, King Ghidorah's an alien, and then you got these Titans. Because Mothra's supposed to be good. She it's a female. She's supposed to be good. Rodan, maybe side.
He switches sides.
Yeah, he switches sides. Yeah. So
however his mood says.
Yeah.
I feel like supporting Ghidorah today.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but I just hope that battle just lives. It just lives up to what we're seeing on the trailers. I'm
trying to think of what I was thinking about earlier today. That is exactly what you're talking about the length of a battle. Because some battles in cinema are too short. The only one that comes to mind real quick is the battle with Optimus Prime in the first Transformer movie. The battle where he's battling, is it Bone Crusher? They called him Devastator, but he's actually Bone Crusher. Yeah. It was too quick. They're on the highway, you see Prime go, and he transforms, you see Bone Crusher, they fight, they fall out, Prime comes around the thing, that's it. Well, it was cool, but fuck, it was too short. Sorry. Yeah. It was just too short. Where... Again, going back to Blackout, and dude, I was bugging Prime 1 the other day. I'm like, when is Blackout coming out? If there's gonna be one Prime, one Transform on arm, it's gonna be Blackout.
Blackout, yeah.
So, I felt everything was right. He comes in, he's mysterious, he lands, you get the sound, he gets up, he decimates the whole base, he's wandering around, Scorponok freaking jumps off his back, he's walking around, he doesn't die, nobody opposes him, nobody can beat him. And then you see him in the rest of the movie. And that works. That works.
Yeah. And again, going back to the battles, you just hope the battle lives up to the hype.
Yeah, the Ghidorah and Godzilla battle has to be a good 5-minute ass kicking. Yeah. And, at the end, Godzilla better be like, if Godzilla wins, he better be like, God, man, I just got the ass handed to me, but he won. I'm like, damn. Or, if Ghidorah wins, Ghidorah better be missing a wing or a head, something.
Just something,
It better be good. The hype is real. You're feeling it. I'm feeling it.
I mean, I try to stay away from reviews. Are you paying attention to the reviews?
Oh, no, I never listen to reviews.
So, but what are the reviews saying? Do you know?
I haven't seen any, but I am part of several Godzilla forums on Facebook, and I gotta tell you, I'm part of a lot of collector forums online, right? But that is the best interactive forum on Facebook. If I post something Godzilla from my collection, a lot of oh man, that's awesome, whatever. We are a pretty tight-knit community. And, they're always sharing funny stuff. They're always talking about, the movie. I like that forum better than any other forum. A lot of other forums, people are throwing around their money and their collections and I'm going to do this, and not this forum. It feels like a tight-knit group and I really like being part of it. But I can feel that hype in the group. We're all hyped. And I told him, I said, man, I wish a portion of us were close enough that we could all meet up at a theater.
Yeah, a theater.
Dude, that would be an amazing experience. But going back to the first Godzilla movie, that was an experience I had. I got invited by Mecha Gorilla to go see Godzilla 1 at their private screening. And I will never forget that screening. It was a bunch of Godzilla fans and it was an amazing time. And I had my family, so they experienced that. I've never had a cinematic experience like that since. Sure, the Avengers, there was the crowd, you felt together, but not like there at that Godzilla. We all came together and it just, even if you didn't know anybody, we just came together.
But, and again, when I went to go see it, I went to go see it with you.
Afterwards, we went and see it a second time?
Yeah, I guess we went to go see it a second. It was at the Palladium.
Okay.
And, and again, at the time we went to go see it with, what's his face? Chatterbox,
oh, that one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, again, remember he came out, he goes, I was kind of disappointed. I go, well, you don't understand the story. It's like, yeah, again, you failed to, I told him, you failed to do your homework. I enjoyed it. I just thought, like, man, this is badass Godzilla. I mean, because, the way, my only complaint was the damn feet.
Thick feet.
Yeah.
in which you fixed, thank you.
That was the only complaint, but it was just, they had the roar, they had the look. They didn't do the 1998 freaking Godzilla, whatever it was. But man, and the Mutos were just right.
Yeah.
Everything was just right, and
I like the Mutos. I like the character. The one scene where the Muto rises the railroad.
Yeah,
that was cool. The fact that the male was significantly smaller than the female was cool. The fact that he fed the female the nuke and then the female had the eggs down there. The Mutos were cool. Yeah, they were a new kind of kaiju, but they were cool.
Yeah, and and those Mutos reminded me of spiders, so to say, because the male spider is always usually the smallest one, and when they mate, it's gotta leave before the big female eats the damn. Gotta run.
Hate to hit and run, but I gotta go.
And then it's got
Scorpion's his ass.
And
Get back here.
And it has all those babies underneath it. I go, that looks like a spider more than it does whatever. And it walked like a spider almost.
Yeah.
I thought it was spider-like. But I don't know.
I thought it was more roaches, but I disagree with you.
But just to go back, I mean, God, I'm just waiting. I just hope the hype. I just hope the movie matches the hype.
But dude, May is just gonna be a badass month. You got John Wick 3, hype for that. You got the King Kong or Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and then there's a couple other films. Forgive me, I can't remember off the time, but May is gonna be huge for the box office this year. I kind of wanted to touch upon. I don't know if you saw the trailers during the Dumbo or whatever, but Batista has got several movies coming out, and they freaking look good, dude. He's got one where he's a CIA spy. I think it's called My Spy. Dude, Every time I see it, I think Game Plan, but better. You remember Game Plan with The Rock, and he's a football player and a little girl? I think this will be better than the Game Plan. And then they saw a new one today with Batista. It's called Schubert. And
I haven't seen it.
dude, it looks funny, dude. And I'm just like, man, can I take my kids to see this? Because there was just a lot of funny parts. And then there is that we went off. The logo.
Are we good on time?
Yeah, a few more minutes. What's it called? There's this one with the movie with these kids, and it's kind of, you like that movie Neighbors, or what was it? Was it Neighbors? There was another one.
Hall Pass.
No, there was another party movie, and that you really like that song out of the movie.